What, this way?
Yes.
Yeah. What's this? What's this?
Smell it, before you don't need.
Right to the heart.
Sorry.
Man, is this a coup or something?
That's what I'm doing. It's not that what you want to have it.
This one. Yes, no, she's gonna be late. Yeah, okay. Yeah, she'll get it eventually, yeah. Hi. Oh. Oh, you contacted Bill Booth? Any follow-ups with him?
Most recent.
Yeah, that's when he told me it'd probably be this fall, down in Portland, maybe.
So, you know. I figured as we got a little bit closer to the summer, he might change his mind.
I hope so, I hope so. I haven't seen him for ages. 30 plus years, I'm guessing.
We're on.
Yeah. The fellow that born and raised here in town, Bill Booth, very talented. He spent almost his entire life in the Netherlands. Netherlands, yeah. But he put out some albums. The latest one he put out has a lot of songs about Pittsfield in it. One's called Peltham Avenue, and some of the verses in there, some characters in town that, you know, if you've been around town for a while, you recognize them.
Is one of those you?
No.
Oh, okay.
Come on, Jan, you know me. If it was, wouldn't you have heard it from me already?
Probably.
Numerous times. Yeah.
Yeah, what's the name of the album? Something River. And all the songs are about Pittsfield. A couple of them are pretty good. A couple are a little.
Rivertown.
Rivertown.
Yeah.
That's the name of that. Couple are a little on the edge, but.
Yeah. Well, they got that one called Peltham Avenue.
Yeah.
Wyatt had to try it as a character that used to be around town, and he has a song about Don Fenler.
Yes.
The Lost on the Mountain, Maine.
Yeah. He's been doing a lot of concerts this spring. over
Yeah.
there.
He just put on a recorded interview that he had from a station over there, but you can translate it. I guess I haven't read it or listened to it yet. Must have been a very good review from my understanding. It's a great album. That'd be great if we get him here. That'd be fantastic. And if we get Rex Fowler from Aztec Two Step, he's from Pittsfield.
Yeah.
That'd be a good little concert.
I've got 6.
All right. I do too. Eric, can you hear us okay?
I can indeed. Can you hear me?
Sir, when we get to a vote there, you'll have to put on your camera so that we can see your pretty little face.
You got it.
You got on tonight.
All right. All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the April 2nd Pittsfield Town Council meeting. I would like to call the meeting to order, and if I could, I'd like to invite everybody to stand and recite the Pledge of Allegiance with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you very much, folks. And if I may, for a moment of silence, please. All right, thank you. So let's move on to number 3. Tried to clean my glasses, I made them dirty, can't read a thing. So the adoption of the minutes for the town council meeting on March 19th, 2024. I look for a motion from the council, please.
Make a motion that we adopt town council meeting March 19th, 2024.
Second.
Thank you, gentlemen. Any questions or comments? Eric, anything from you?
No, all set.
All right, Eric, why don't you just leave your microphone open, and if you want to jump in, just jump in anytime, all right?
Got it.
All right, councilors, we all set for a vote? All right, very well, hearing none, I sense we're ready to vote. All those in favor of the adoption of the minutes of the town council meeting for March 19th, 2024, please signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
I need to rescind that motion, since we have a counselor coming in on Zoom, I'll have to ballot each counselor individually, so Eric. You hear the motion on the floor, how do you vote?
Aye.
Doc?
Aye.
Jason?
Aye.
I will vote aye. 4 for quorum, the adoption minutes have been passed. So let's move on to number 5, presentations, congratulations, and introductions. There are none this evening, sir?
Correct.
All right, very well, thank you. And that will be for also for number 6, public hearing, none scheduled for this evening. So let's move right into number 7, reports. Town manager report. Jacob, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and good evening, everyone. Thank you to Chief Morris and my other department heads for holding down the fort last week while I was on vacation. It is a good feeling knowing that the town is in good hands while I am away. A new granite sign will be erected at Stein Park, thanks to generous donations from several residents and the Garden Club. There will be a ceremony held in the coming weeks once the sign has been installed. I will keep the council updated as to when that is. Job well done to our police department on the success of the Easter egg hunt at Pinnacle last Saturday. The event was a big hit despite Mother Nature throwing a slight curveball earlier in the week. Many thanks to the event and volunteers that made this happen. Representatives from MS80 53 will be in attendance at your next council meeting to present the proposed 2024-2025 education budget. And finally, a reminder that the next charter review workshop will take place before the regular council meeting on April 16th. The workshop will begin at 6 and the regular meeting will start at 7. Short and sweet, that's all I got.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Jacob. So let's move on to old business. There are none. And into number 9, new business. You ready? Okay, if you would, please, resolution 24-39.
Resolution approving the IT manager services agreement with Technology Solutions Inc.
I'll look for a motion from the council.
Motion that we adopt resolution 2439.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Thank you, gentlemen. Jacob, any clarification on this before I put out to the audience for questions?
Just our contract with our current vendor is coming due at the end of April. We currently have Technology Solutions of Maine providing IT services for our police department. I think the police department has been very pleased with the services that they have offered. They're a local company, which our current vendor is not. So I've been very pleased with Tech Solutions of Maine. They've actually come and bailed the town office out on occasion about a month ago. So I've been really pleased with them. And I think Chief Morris would agree that a good company and for cost also.
Excellent.
So
Chief, do you want to speak on it?
Yeah, Chief Morris, Police Department. Yeah, I just want to, reiterate what he said. They are very responsive to our needs. The incident he was talking about, they weren't even a customer at the time when we had issues in the town. So I made a quick call.
And we got them out here in 20-30 minutes. They were here, so. I think they're based in Waterville, at least one of the offices in Waterville, so they're pretty quick to get here, and I think they're very attentive to us, and they always answer our calls, and they do a lot of remote stuff. Definitely, they're Johnny on the spot when we need them.
Excellent. All right, thank you, Chief. So with that, anyone in the audience have any questions or comments on resolution 2439 like to bring up this evening? Very well, close the public input. Council, any questions or comments? All right, very well. Hearing none, I sense we're ready to vote, and I shall start balloting with Eric,
Aye.
Doc,
Aye.
Jason,
Aye.
and I vote aye.
Councilor Donahue is here as well.
Was she?
She's here.
Somewhere. Heather, you on there?
I
Can you hear
am. I vote aye. I vote
Okay.
aye.
Did you hear the motion and the discussion, Heather?
I caught most of it. I read the document, so I vote aye.
Okay, thank you very much. My appreciation for coming in on this evening. So that's 5 votes aye. Resolution 24-39 passes. Thank you, council. Nicole, let's move on to resolution 24-40, please.
Resolution confirming the town manager's appointment of Stanley Jr. as cemetery sexton superintendent for a 1-year term expiring April 1st, 2025.
I'll look for a motion from the council, please.
Make a motion that we adopt resolution 2440.
Second.
Moved and second. Thank you, gentlemen. Any background you want to provide here, Jacob?
No, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. We been looking for a sexton. Mr. Short has worked for the cemeteries previously, and he has a good understanding of kind of our processes, and so I'm excited to have him on board. He is in attendance with us this evening.
Excellent. I'll give you the floor if you want to give a couple words. I mean, it's not a requirement to be a sexton. You're usually around some very quiet people.
I'll give you a few moments just to let you know what my experience is. Like he said, I did work down the cemetery mowing and did different maintenance around 5 cemeteries in the town of Pittsfield. So I know where all the wet spots are, so I can be helpful to the contractors when they're performing their maintenance down here, to let them know where they could go to get stuck. I can also let them know that the headstones aren't connected to the bases. And I have 3 broken toes to prove that. They tip over very easy if you're not careful. And I had one land on my foot one day that broke 3 bones in my foot. So I can be helpful that way. I appreciate your opportunity to be the sexton for the town of Pittsfield. I know while I was down there, people would stop us when we were mowing on the side of the road and tell us how good everything looked and how proud they were of the cemeteries in the town. And I will do everything in my power to make sure that we keep that reputation. And I also want to make sure that working with the sexton and getting things accomplished within the boundaries of the paperwork and all of those things that go on, I want to make that as easy as I possibly can for the people involved in that. So with that, I don't know what the process is, but
Well, if you,
I hope for your appointment.
all right, thank you. I'll open up to the audience.
Yeah.
See if they have any questions or comments, and if you wouldn't mind fielding any questions if you have it,
Yeah,
and then to the council.
Yeah.
Anyone in the audience have any questions or comments on resolution 24-40? Very well, I will close public input. Council, any questions or comments on resolution 24-40? Very well, here and none, I sense we're ready to vote, and I will ballot the council, and I will start with Eric,
Aye.
Heather.
Aye.
Doc,
Aye.
Jason?
Aye.
And I vote aye. Resolution 24-40 passes. You are our new cemetery sexton superintendent. Thank you very much, Stan. I appreciate it. All right, Nicole, let's move right on with post haste to resolution 24-41, please.
Resolution to authorize the town manager and grant administrator to file an application to the U.S. Department of Justice for the Bulletproof Vest Partnership Program for reimbursement of up to 50% of the cost of vests purchased yearly.
I'll look for a motion from the council, please.
Make a motion that we adopt resolution 2441.
Second.
Moving and second, any questions or comments from the audience? Very well, I will close the public Chief, did you wanna? Okay, I will close the public input, and I will open to the council. Any questions or comments on this, council?
I got one question.
Yes, sir.
Vinny, it says, cost of vest purchase yearly. Do you have to replace these yearly?
It's a Morris Police Chief. No, they're about 5 years is how long they last. However, you kind of, when you buy them, they're kind of staggered. So about every year is about the time when they start expiring. And also if an officer gains a lot of weight or hopefully loses a lot of weight, you know. Well, I'm just saying, I'm hoping. So with the weight loss fluctuating, it does you have to get a new vest because it doesn't cover or it covers too much. So, and this is a very common grant for police departments across the nation, actually. So.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks, Chief. Anything else, council? Very well, hearing none, I sense we're ready to vote. So let's, now, the councilors, Eric, let's start with you, please.
Aye.
Heather,
Aye.
Doc,
Aye.
Jason,
Aye.
and I vote aye. Resolution 24-41 passes. Thank you very much. Nicole, resolution 24-42, please.
Resolution to authorize the town manager and grant administrator to file an application to Walmart for a Smart Good local grant to not exceed $5,000 to assist with the cost of up to 3 community events and activities scheduled in 2024.
I'll look for a motion from the council, please.
Make a motion that we adopt resolution 2442.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Thank you, gentlemen. Any questions or comments from anyone in the audience this evening? You lean forward, like you can say something.
Wait, stand up.
You want to speak to
I
them?
might as well do it now.
Oh, yeah, sure, please. Yeah, sure.
Benjamin Morris, Police Chief again. So you basically, the Walmart grant, which we had talked about when I first started here, it's a community block grant. That these big box stores kind of have to give away. And a lot of times people don't actually go to the stores and get the grant, so they kind of struggle. So I found early on that these grants are available and they really want to hand them out for community purposes. And Walmart, you know, being in Palmyra, it is part of our community. And so I did talk to the manager. They have a new manager now, but the last manager had left when I talked to before. Said they definitely would entertain these grants. So and for the purposes of the grants, we'd be using for these community events that we do, whether it's buying food, so you know, for cooking or for you know, whatever the event would require. So it's pretty simple.
All right, thank you, Chief. Any questions from anyone in the audience? Very well, I will close the public input. Council, any questions or comments on resolution 2442? Very well, hearing none, I sense we are ready to vote. All those in favor, and I shall start with Eric.
Aye.
Heather,
Aye.
Doc,
Aye.
Jason.
Aye.
I vote aye. Resolution 24-42 passes. All right, Nicole, let's wrap this up. Resolution 24-43, please. Put some flair into it.
Resolution to authorize the town manager and grant administrator to file an application to the U.S. Department of Transportation for a Safe Streets for All safety plan and supplemental planning to not exceed $150,000 with a 20% local match.
That was awesome. That was so cool. I'll look for a motion from the council, please.
Jacob, did you want to table this?
No, I think I'm all set.
You are, okay. Make a motion that we adopt resolution 2443.
Second.
Moving second, thank you, gentlemen. Any questions or comments from anyone in the audience? Jacob, some clarification you want to provide on this?
I will yield the floor to Catherine.
All right, Catherine, would you mind give us the Reader's Digest version? Thank you very much.
Grant administrator, the first two grants are very easy. This one's, that I submitted, and unusual ones. This is a new one. And so I have a short presentation, I think can explain out the grant, the opportunities that are available to us and what the cost would be and the monies that we have available for that. So basically, in a magazine that we get through the email, I heard about a new wave of funding for local and tribal roadway safety innovation. It is a first of its kind discretionary grant program called Safe Streets and Roads for All, SS4A. It's helping local communities design and deliver comprehensive roadway safety plans and improvements that will save lives and address the roadway safety needs. So the first step is that in order to get any money to fix anything, you have to have a safety plan approved, set up on the standards which the U.S. Department of Transportation has. So this is a whole new grant program. It's never existed before. It's here because of the funding that's been available through the federal government. So the first step is to apply for a planning grant. The safety plan that we would apply for will identify safety issues that should be addressed in the community. Once there's a safety plan that lists implementation strategies that once the safety plan's done, the town can apply for implementation funding to fix items or enhance items. So specific areas of concern that have come up, and there could be many more when we have a traffic engineer hired to look at the community. But specific areas of concern have been the Somerset Avenue and Industrial Park intersection, very congested. There's a road, Industrial Park, that has 79 units on it. There's between 180 to 230 students. Some ride the bus, some go down through the intersection walking or biking. This is a very congested area. That intersection has been identified as a high crash area. So those are what the federal government's looking to assist with. We've met with DOT many times, but it just hasn't been a priority for them. So if we had a plan that had some items that needed to be changed, we can work with the DOT, and there will be an action plan. Action plans are funded by the federal government and the state. So there are also issues on Industrial Park Street. Bicycle lanes and street lights for Industrial Park Street have been mentioned many times. Traffic calming raised crosswalks may be available for some intersections. An area that's been discussed is the road that cuts through Maine Central Institute by the dormitories and the concern over that. If that came up to be a safety item and Maine Central Institute and the town wanted that to be taken out, there might be funding for that that would be available to us. These are all maybes. The safety plan that would be created would identify the safety items. These are sort of ones that do fit under the requirements. Also, the road going through Vickery and Warsaw, the superintendent and the police chief have talked, and I've talked to the superintendent in the past about how they would like to have the road be cut off and not go through due to all the issues that go on. We've been very fortunate. They may be able to review road conditions. Now, they're not gonna fix maintenance that we haven't done. But if you have items like dangerous curves or hills, there would be paving that would go along with that. There are also climate mitigation issues that are involved. There are all these tools that you have to use, which are very interesting and difficult to use. But they've identified Pittsfield as a disadvantage on every category. So they're talking about climate mitigation issues. So you think about the gravel roads, and this would be a stretch, but you used to have one spring thaw. Now you have 10 of them a year. So the roads are in very bad shape. Maybe there would be funding somehow to pave them. That I think is a stretch, but it is an item. So we would also, besides a safety plan, you're allowed to, while you're developing the safety plan, to have a supplemental project that can help it and assist it. So we have a Pittsfield bicycle and pedestrian plan that's over a decade old. It was put together by KV Cog Dues. It's very basic. However, it would be wonderful if that plan could be reviewed and then to have a list of all the sidewalks that need to be fixed, all the sidewalks that don't connect, where there should be another sidewalk, where the bike path should be, the bike lanes and everything, and have all the engineering costs of those all done, because we've never been able to afford to do that before. And here's a program that will pay 80% of this. We pay 20% instead of 100%. So both plans could be used to collaborate and coordinate with the downtown Main Street plan that's ongoing. We can design the RFP to address issues all outside that area, or to actually work with that plan, and perhaps if there's some safety items in there, put them into the action plan where they could be funded.
So this is gonna take follow-up, of course. I mean, the 150,000 is gonna be for improvements here and there, but we'll form a committee, the council will, bottom line is. what we'll do.
Absolutely.
Okay, all right,
Yes,
thank you, Catherine.
absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
So, almost done. So once we get the plan together, the next step, which would be the next year, would be to apply for implementation funding, which would be 80% paid for, 20% by the town. At that point, we may have identified some other grants. We can't use federal money to be our match, but we can use state money and other monies that might be available. Right now, we don't have anything that we can use, but we could in the future. So the town does have funding earmarked for grant match. It's only been used once, which was for the Efficiency Main project. Every other grant we've had, been able to find funding, donations. We were able to use the match of a public works director, or my time, or other staff time, the police. But on this one, this is a traffic transportation issue, and I don't see that we would probably be a good match for that. We're not traffic engineers. This will be complicated, just like the PPI is. So we have $49,877.97 left in the carry forward fund dedicated for grant funding. So basically, you have $49,878 available. So this will require $30,000. And then it will open up opportunities. Right now, there's no implementation monies available to us in this new program, one of its kind. And when I was on the trainings, there were a tremendous amount of people on there. So I'm hoping to get into the first round. If this fails, or I don't do some of the difficult traffic programs that we had to go through, and there were a lot of coordination issues because they use old PDF forms that we can't open very well, but we got them all open now. But if it's not, then they will disqualify it and then review it and allow us to apply for the August round. There's also a May round, but again, the people that get in the door first have a better chance.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, Catherine. All right, and anyone in the audience have any questions or comments on this resolution 24-43? Very well, I'll close the public input. Council, any questions or comments?
Yeah. Catherine, you know, if we get the $150,000 or whatever, who does the plan? Who, you know, analyzes it, you know, for problems, and, you know, are there companies that do this?
Absolutely. The current company that we're working with is a traffic engineering company. They would do projects like this. I did contact them and haven't heard back yet. We would have to put it out to RFP, but again, there aren't many transportation companies in the state of Maine. When we put out the PPI, we got 5 proposals, and there were 5 good companies. So it would be an engineering company. They would have traffic background, and they would be able to follow the requirements.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Well said, Doug. Anything else, council? You're boiling up. Come on. I'm gonna close it. Go ahead.
Yeah, so this gets us the plan, and then the following year we have to reapply.
We would apply for implementation funding, which is 80% paid for by the federal government, 20% by the town, or some grants that we would have that were not federal.
Is there a potential that we get this grant and we don't get the implementation part of it?
there's an amazing amount of money that's available. During the trainings, they were pushing, everybody to apply, even if you didn't have high fatality rates or crashes. So they have a lot of money that wasn't given away last year. They're trying to have it be given away for projects that would be good. As long as the funding is there, and the funding is there at this point, we would have a good chance. It's a safety plan identified items, which I suspect it will identify quite a bit.
I would assume if they invested in the study, they wouldn't necessarily wait
Well,
towards a follow-up.
Yeah, but I'd hate to spend 30 grand to, have a plan that we never implement. Which
I understand.
would be a concern of mine.
Understood.
Donnie apparently.
Yeah.
The China.
I did sit in on this grant, just to let you know, one of the training webinars.
Briefly, yeah, we close the public, make it brief.
It's just real quick, that they did say in that training part, if getting in early and getting the planning would probably almost secure us with implementation money. They don't want to waste money either.
Yeah, good. All right.
Thanks, Donnie.
Yeah.
Anything else, Jason?
No, I'm good.
Anything else, council? Yeah, Heather, go ahead.
Catherine, can you just clarify that part of the study and planning grant could be applied to engineering as well, engineering of items that are identified through that process? So we'd be able to get engineering done for those projects, even if we were able to not able to get the implementation funds.
So the implementation funds would have the engineering fully paid for. If we didn't apply for implementation grant, we would have basic information, conceptual drawings that could be used by another firm. There would have to be money spent. It doesn't pay for all the engineering up front. It pays for the study, but everything has to be detailed out. There'll be so much information that another engineer could pick it up. It would cost a lot less. They wouldn't be starting from the beginning.
So this is like step one of a multi-step process that we'd be able to accomplish.
As Donnie said, and I don't want to say they were almost giving away money, but they were really pushing going forward with the plan because the money is being carried over. And then, as noted, if we get a good action plan, we should qualify for implementation plans. You can apply for several things. We would pick out the most important. And of course, there would be a committee that would be created by the town council, of which one or more councils would be on. You would have planning board members and other people in the community. It would be a community plan because we want to involve the public.
All right, thank you, Phyllis. Excuse me. Thank you, Catherine. Anything else, Heather?
No, that was all. Thank you.
Anything else, council? Very well, hearing none, since we're ready to vote, I shall ballot the councils. I'll start with you, Eric.
Aye.
Heather?
Aye.
Dot? Jason?
Aye.
I vote aye also. 24 excuse me, 43 passes. So with that, I will move into discussion items for public comment. Anyone in the audience have any questions or comments, anything like to bring up, discuss? Any compliments you want to give us? That means you're gonna be sitting down. So all I'd ask, if you want to come up and stand at the podium so we can hear you loud and clear and get a front and a profile on the camera.
I'll try to keep this under an hour. Tonight's kind of a little sneak preview, and it's kind of interesting, by the way, Jan Rocks. About some activities that we're kind of thinking about doing. And listening to some of the things that Catherine was talking about with grants and so forth. It sounds as though that we're going to be looking at the future of Pittsfield. And that's a plus. I mean, times are changing. And so one of the areas, and Heather and I go back on this discussion a few years ago, trying to get community people involved in sharing some of their thoughts and ideas. So in talking with Jacob a little while ago, he had suggested that maybe I take a look at something online. And the program is actually called Community Heart and Health. And what it is, it's a program designed to help communities begin to provide activities that bring people together to talk about the future of their towns and their cities. And I wish I had seen this material about 25 years ago, because if I had, I'd be a rich person right now. Because a lot of the stuff, a lot of the information they put together is really kind of interesting in terms of how do you get the community involved. Now, one of the interesting pieces of this, and Jacob is familiar with this because they did this over in Bucksmore. But one of the interesting pieces of this is the committee that you put together really doesn't involve you guys. The goal of this committee is to meet and, you know, do some surveys and different activities like that and come up with a series of ideas and, you know, what would we like Pittsfield to look like 5, 10, 20 years from now? So what I'll do is just pass, you can take this with you.
Oh, yeah.
And I would,
Thank you, Jen.
maybe so. I'll be back at the meeting, the next meeting, because the council will need to kind of give a sense of approval to do this. But if you're interested, or if you'd like more information, I do have a team put together of 6 people from the community already. There is somebody on the council that's on that committee, but please know that they're on that committee, not because they're a council member, but because they're interested in being part of this discussion. If you go online and you look at Community Heart and Health, you can get a sense of what's involved here. This is not something brand spanking new, and it's nationwide, but they have some guidance. We have a coach that comes in to help us get organized, making suggestions in terms of things to do. And there have been probably, I think maybe 12 or 13 towns and communities in Maine that have actually participated in this. The closest one being Dexter. Unfortunately, Dexter, when they started this, it was right in the middle of COVID, so it put a couple of kinks in it. But I can see some real opportunity here to get some kind of a dialogue going with folks in the community, to have them put down on paper, you know, what they would like to see, some suggestions. And if we're talking about different things in roads or activities and all kinds of stuff, but it provides an opportunity for dialogue. And that's what we really need right now is some kind of dialogue. So there is a grant process with this, but the grant has nothing to do with basically you guys initially for approval. And it's not a whole lot of money, but it's just something to get started. And what they found out when they did this process up in Dexter was that once they got the community people together, I mean, they had all kinds of great ideas, and local businesses, local people actually made contributions so that they could have some of the things that were on this. So it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to cost the town a whole lot of money, but it does provide us with an opportunity to sit down and so forth. Again, the piece that I like in this, and if you go online to look at it, when I come back at the next meeting, I do need to have you kind of give a seal of approval or a stamp to move on here. But the survey that they have, or the sheet that they use when they go out and they interview people, is really very, very good. And the questions, but they've had some practice on this. This is a nationwide thing, so it's not just here. And if you look at, you'll see a map on their website that shows the states where they are actually involved. We do have our coach already. She lives up in Aroostook County. She told me it was snowing like hell there yesterday. But she's pretty excited to come down here and really help us get started. There will be some decisions that have to be made, but it's going to be made by the 6 people. And I will introduce those people to you next time at the next meeting when we get together. But they are very excited, represented a little bit different diversity in the town. And it's gonna take a while. This is gonna be probably a 2 or 3 or 4 year process. But sometimes that's how long it takes. And MCI has offered us to use some of their facilities when we need to have meetings and suppers and all of those kinds of things. So I think it's gonna be pretty exciting.
Right, excellent. Thank you, Jan.
Thanks, Jen.
All right, very well. Anyone else in the audience have anything they'd like to discuss? Questions or comments? None from the back row. Pete? You want us to regale us with snowmobile stories? All good. All right, very well. I will close to public input. I will go to the council. Eric, let's start with you, please.
No report.
All right, thank you. Heather, let's go with you next, please.
Just a couple things. Congratulations to Stan. I think he'll be a good addition and caretaker of the as cemetery sexton. Listening to Jan talk about the heart and health program, it really is encouraging to hear people talk about doing community development again and getting involved. It does make me think a lot of the project that the library put the grant in to the Maine Community Foundation for the Community Development Fund for the community assessment survey. So I think there might be some opportunity there to either lay the foundation or provide support to that application if it's funded for some additional community programming. And it also makes me think of the Main Street program, which would be like the business development part of or partner to that type of community development program. And I think that there's a real opportunity for all of these types of projects to work together and hit all of the major areas of development within the town, both the community, the schools, the infrastructure improvements that we're looking at, as well as business development. If we're talking about making physical improvements to the town, they're going to encourage more people to have businesses or move and locate their businesses here in town. So I think that's all really encouraging and exciting to hear about. If you can, do you have actual information about the program that you can, maybe Jacob can just send a link around for the program so that the counselors can all look at that?
All right, anything else, Heather?
And that's all, thanks.
All right, thank you. Doc, let's go with you, please.
No report.
Very well, moving right along. Jason?
Yeah, Jacob, do you have an update on the audit?
I have the draft version. There's a few things that I need clarification on that we're working with them together, and they will be in-house 2 weeks from today to start the 23 audit.
Okay, all right, great, thanks. Just a big thank you to the police department and everybody involved in the egg hunt. I heard that was a really good event and a good turnout, so that's great to see and have the community involvement and different businesses involved in that, so that was great. In addition to that, welcome Stanley. Congratulations. And I guess that's about it.
All right, thank you. I will be also very brief. Vinny, thank you very much for doing what you do with that. Getting the involvement in, and it's something that hadn't been done before, so it's fantastic stuff. So appreciate that very much. Stan, good to see you again, and I'm glad that you're willing to take on this role here and the pride you take in it. So thank you very much. All I wanted to add is that we have another huge storm coming up Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So I would suggest the ladies in the office bring in some shovels. Help out. I said that out loud, didn't I? No, I'm kidding. So please be careful driving. I'm sure Jacob will make the right decision on whether to have the hall open or not, have the office open or not. So That's really all I have this evening. Thank you all very much for showing up. It's great to see the audience we've been having, and we'll see you all next time, I hope. So with that, I will look for a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.